Welcome back to the warm up again with Ja and Ben. Before we get into it, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell, all that good stuff before we get into it. Where we talk all things NBA. Continuing our season outlook series, we are talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, who had an interesting offseason to say the least. They kicked things off with trading Desmond Bain to the Orlando Magic and have been injury riddled throughout the summer, and they just can't seem to get healthy. So yeah,
Yeah. I would say, Memphis is a very interesting team. They paid a lot of money to their big guys. They obviously held off on Ja, but this will be an interesting team to talk about. I'm excited about it. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull up the roster real quick and take a look at exactly what they have going into this season. Ja, if you want to take it away.
yeah. So I mean, they lost Desmond Bain. They picked up KCP through that trade and the salary dump. They also picked up Ty Jerome, who's an undersized guard, but they got him away from Cleveland. So we'll see what they do with that. They extended John Conch or not John Conchar, Santi Aldama and Jaren Jackson Jr. this past offseason. And yeah, so they have a lot of moving parts going through. I think this team naturally will take a step back with the loss of Desmond Bain, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, getting KCP, as far as an on-court fit, it's good. It's obviously not Desmond Bain. The one thing I did like about that trade, obviously, like the majority of people that saw it, was the amount of first-round picks they got in return. And I think they're going to be able to turn those into a lot of really good young guys in the future. Ty Jerome is a very underrated pickup. Obviously, he kind of shut off in the playoffs, but as far as
Mm-hmm.
a regular season contender for Cleveland, a regular season contributor for Cleveland, excuse me, he did a really good job there. Extending Conchar and JJJ, they did that just as free agency opened. I think JJJ was the first deal, I think. So, and then
Mm-hmm.
Conchar was like 5 minutes later.
Aldama,
So
Aldama.
Oh, Aldama. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
my bad.
No, you're
And
good.
so looking like down here at the bench too, I see two guys that stand out: Scottie Pippen Jr. and Gigi Jackson. I know
Mm-hmm.
Gigi has a lot of fans in Memphis, and I can say personally from watching Memphis play, Scottie Pippen Jr. does have a lot of upside.
Mm-hmm.
Performed well in the play-in tournament when they needed him to, especially in the one that clinched it against Dallas. Also played well on the road against Golden State. Then picking up Cam Spencer as well is good. And obviously, we mentioned this before, but you might be without your big men to start the season. If you wanted to kind of break that down, Ja.
Yeah, so Zach Edey, he's going to be out for the first, they said 4 to 6 weeks. They said that about around last week, so he'll probably miss around the first 3 weeks of the season. Jaren Jackson Jr., he signed that contract, and then they immediately announced he was hurt. So they obviously believe in the player, but still wanted to pay him. So he's going to be out for probably the first 2 or 3 weeks as well. And a Wild West, missing your front court like that could be the difference in the season. Naturally, you're gonna regress a little bit with trading a player like Desmond Bain. Um, just to add on to the picks you brought up that they got in return, one of them being a Suns pick. I think those are very valuable these days, just with the simple nature that they traded Kevin Durant. They probably won't be as good as they were, and they weren't good last year. Yeah, I think this team has a lot of potential. I like where they're kind of headed. It's kind of weird, like they traded Bane, but I kind of like the trade for them.
Yeah.
They're in a loaded West where why try to go for it when you could take a step back and kind of be mid a little bit. Um, Last thing, I just think Ja Morant needs to become Ja Morant again. He's one of the, I mean, 2 years ago, he was undisputedly probably a top 10 player, a rising star. We were talking about him before Anthony Edwards. He could have been the face of the league, this, that, and the fourth. But I think he needs to show the world and himself that he is Ja Morant because the Grizzlies also didn't extend him. He's extension eligible. So he has to prove not only himself, but the Grizzlies that he's worthy of that contract as well.
Yeah, I like that you keyed in on Ja. I think it's very important, like you said, that he really goes out there and has a very good season, kind of proves that he's still that guy. I just think it was unfortunate for him, the path. I mean, obviously, he had the personal stuff, and then there was the
Right.
ACL injury. So just an unfortunate series of events that have kind of led to this point.
Yeah.
But like you said, if Ja Morant can turn to his regular form, this Grizzlies team can compete. It's as simple as that. Because I mean, when before all these things happened, Ja had them at some of the top seeds in the West. Granted, there
Yeah.
wasn't much playoff success, but you're putting your team in a spot in the regular season where you can confidently say, "Hey, we're right in the thick of it, and
Right.
you're good." Obviously, he coined the famous term "I'm fine in the West," but
Yeah.
I mean, he had his team up there, so I will give him props for that. As far as like the rest of this roster, where would you say this team finishes in the playoff hunt, and like where do you think they finish in the standings this season?
Yeah, so I think they're for sure a playing team. I think it's more of a 9-10 than a 7-8, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were the 8 seed going into the play-in. I think the team's pretty good defensively. Now, credit their front court players are out, so that's going to take a hit. But I think a lot of people forget that rookie Jalen Wells, who's on the screen right now, he was having a hell of a rookie year, and then when he got hurt, they went from the second seed to 8th. So I think it's going to be really cool to see if he has that year 2 jump. And then going from there, I mean, it doesn't seem like the Grizzlies are trying to be like a top 16 home court advantage type team. So maybe this is the avenue they get to, and just being a fun team and a prove it year for everyone on all fronts.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say, yeah, I play-in is probably what we're looking at. Do I think if Ja Morant returns to his form, they could secure a playoff spot? Sure. It's the
Mhm.
West. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like we haven't seen teams we're not expecting in the field to be in the field. So, like,
Right.
that's happened in the past. So, I will give Memphis that benefit of the doubt. I do want to see what this team looks like defensively. Obviously, you have your anchor. Um, I'm kind of just curious to see how this guard rotation is going to go outside of Ja Morant. There's a lot of young guy potential there, but
Mhm.
what is that rotation going to look like as far as like, do you have like how many minutes are you going to play Scotty? Where are you going to throw Gigi? And then obviously like I feel like have they tried many packages in which they have Jaren Jackson and Edey on the floor at the same time, or do they normally split their minutes?
Yeah, so I mean, they start every game, Edey, Jaren Jackson, but yeah, Edey's the first sub, and then they go more of a smaller ball lineup. So it's made, but again, Edey didn't have the summer to work out and get better. Like, does he take a step back? Not working out and all that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it'll be an interesting rotation. But I would probably say expect play-in, but there is potential for them to be in that top 6
yeah.
if things truly go their way.
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes their way, I think they have a potential to be top 15 offense and then probably a top 15 defense, which is not like
Hmm.
championship contender or anything, but that'll get you a top 6, 7, or 8 seed in the loaded West. So I think another underrated player on their team is the rookie they just drafted, Cedric Coward. He had a lot of praise coming out the draft, and his draft stock definitely elevated the last
Mm,
couple months. Seeing what he could do, because he is that prototypical 3-and-D player that they've been looking for, and they just frankly never had. Um,
yeah.
yeah, so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. He's got a lot of upside. Um, but yeah, like I said, deep rotation and the biggest thing for them will be their future, obviously, because you've locked up Jaren Jackson and Aldama. You have a decision to make on John Morant. Depending on that decision, will also affect what you do with these first round picks.
Hmm.
Um, it'll just affect like who you're going to spend those on. Obviously, first round pick value is ever changing in the NBA,
Yeah,
but without like without a shadow of a doubt, like the ability for them to get 4 for Desmond Bain still needs to be praised.
yeah,
And depending on where those picks land, who knows? Like you said, they've got one of those Phoenix picks, so that could be really high. Memphis does have an opportunity to capitalize now and in the future, which is a good spot for them to be in. And I think another thing that's big is their health, because
hmm,
Memphis is also one of those teams where they're piling up 10 guys on the injury report. It wasn't they had moments like that this season, but I remember last season specifically when Ja was out with
hmm.
the ACL injury. I mean, dude, the injuries were crazy. I mean, like probably some of the longest injury reports I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
if they can keep the role guys healthy, I think that'll also put them in a really good spot.
Yeah, just to wrap things up, big year for Ja. We hope he gets back to where he was. Because he's an awesome player to watch when he's right. So hopefully they could get their footing together. And yeah, you got anything else to add?
I think I'm good. Memphis will be interesting. Can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in of this part of the season openers or season previews. Please like, subscribe, comment, and give us your thoughts on what you guys think Memphis will be this season. Thank you.